Now, another guy who's possibly going to make a lot of people a lot of money is here. Chris Miller, the CEO of Koios Beverage Corp, has joined me in studio. Chris, welcome.
Thank you for the warm welcome in Toronto. It's balmy here.
That's all you get here.
Yeah,
that's warm.
Yeah.
Warm welcomes and warm women.
Negative 40 degrees. Yeah.
Yeah, negative 40 degrees. Well, that's kind of warm compared to where it was last night.
Yeah.
Chris, Koios Beverages, based in Denver, Colorado?
Denver, Colorado, the Mile High City, yeah.
How do you guys...
Where it's 50 degrees today.
15?
50.
50?
Yeah.
50 Fahrenheit,
yeah.
Right. I have to do some math on that.
Yeah, right, the conversion.
I think it is about 15 degrees centigrade. What does Koios Beverages do? How do you make money?
We are one of the fastest and... I always hesitate to say the best, but I'll say it, beverage companies in the U.S.
Okay.
We make nutritional beverages that enhance brain function, body function. We have a new product coming out this year called Fit Soda, which we're incredibly excited about. But yeah, that's what we do. We try to make our mission is to make 1 billion people live healthier lives.
Wow.
Or at least encourage them. We can't make them. That would be awkward.
Right.
We can strongly we can strongly encourage it.
Right. So I assume there's a cannabis component to this?
There is. I wouldn't call it cannabis. I'd call it CBD.
Right.
Our focus is more on CBD and infusing it into our beverages. I definitely think the CBD market will be bigger than the cannabis-infused market. And I always joke with folks that my mom will take CBDs, but she won't take cannabis. And so we're incredibly excited in the U.S. about infusing beverages, and especially our primary flagship beverage, which is a mental cognition product that creates natural focus. And so to be able to combine CBDs for, anxiety, to do both at the same time is kind of a home run. If I can stay focused and be calm all at once, that's what we're shooting for. And so
you bet. So you guys don't grow cannabis or produce CBDs yourselves?
No.
And you focus on the beverage industry. What's the history of Koios that would give an investor a high degree of confidence that you are the guys to actually take this through to the end zone? Yeah.
I mean, we just signed a national retail deal with GNC.
Okay.
We have the infrastructure in place right now that for your investors who aren't familiar with beverage, if you look up Celsius, they're on the NASDAQ. They went from 34 cents to $5 in 2 years. I think right now Koios has the infrastructure in place to hit those targets.
Right.
In fact, I think we're even further ahead than where Celsius was at the time.
So when you see a deal with GNC, GNC has stores in pretty much every mall in America and Canada.
They are worldwide. We are pushing hard. I know, is this the camera? We're pushing hard to get into Canada as quickly as possible. GNC being one of our retail partners, you'll be able to find that product.
Right. They're still running your B-roll.
Sorry.
That's all good. So, are you in a position where you can produce sufficient product to supply a GNC?
Yeah, no, that's always an issue. I mean, anytime you're a CPG company like us, production is hard, and it's been fun to watch. I don't know, the rumor mill, the talk in the drink space about putting out CBD beverages. I think a lot of companies are going to struggle with production. One of the things that makes Koios Beverage Corp unique is that we have our own production lines in Denver that allow us to not only small batch but innovate. So a lot of guys have tried to come out with CBD products. They're going to run into some issues in terms of how it's made, shelf life, taste, that sort of thing.
Right.
We have our own lines that can do up to 8,000 cases a day, and we have 2 of them. And so we're fairly unique that way. It allows us to stay incredibly nimble instead of co-packing, spending $2 million at a time to make product.
Right.
We don't have to do that.
Okay, so is it conceivable that this might be a future takeout for like a Pepsi or
100%, yeah.
And is that what you're kind of thinking of, building a lifestyle branded beverage line, CBD driven, that would be of interest to a larger?
Yeah, no, one of our board of directors members is the global director of Molson Coors.
Oh, okay.
And so it's interesting. I meet with him once a week just to, I think it's more therapy than anything.
Okay.
It's more of a, because he's in that space and he understands it, but it's interesting to know those guys and know how much beer's even struggling. Some of your listeners who know cannabis probably know that too.
Yeah.
But even they're pushing hard for the non-alcoholic side even, and non-psychoactive.
Right.
That they're sweeping trends from Europe coming across the pond that are some people don't even want to get high. They just want to relax or be more calm.
Idiots. Sorry.
Yeah,
Really?
what? Yeah. I got to go. Are we done? Yeah, no, so...
Don't want to get high.
I think one of the things 3 years ago that I noticed was not only Coca-Cola, Pepsi, some of these Dr. Pepper constellations of the world, but the big ones, Molson Coors, Budweiser, they're looking for takeouts in the functional beverage space too. In fact, Budweiser bought Highball Energy in the States in a huge buyout, which kind of shows you where that trend is headed.
You bet. For 2019, where are your big catalysts going to be that your investors are going to get all excited about?
GNC, and we have some, we're working on huge retail infrastructure right now. So in 2019, I would anticipate, and this is obviously we just put some of this out in our financials, but 2019 we're anticipating over 5,000 locations, and in 2020 we're expecting close to 10,000. So if you do the rough math on that, it adds up quick.
So you're going to build bottling and distribution plants around the country. How do you service such a large footprint?
Yeah. So our canning lines, again, in Denver can do 8,000 cases a week. So if you run the numbers on that, it's fairly large.
Right.
Once we get to those bigger numbers, we'll use co-packing facilities around the U.S. and Canada to fulfill that need.
Okay.
What's unique about us is that most beverage companies jump to that second spot.
Okay.
They go to big co-packers first, spend a lot of money on product and inventory, and don't have a lot of extra cash for marketing, promotion.
Right. And then they got to sell it.
Right.
A little cart before a horse there.
Right. So I spent 5 years in the beverage business building this before we went public, and I'm pretty sure I have PTSD as a result.
Okay.
Because of making those mistakes. I have a lot of scar tissue from doing it the other way. So we built out our own facilities that are GMP certified to be able to be more flexible, to produce our own product, to kind of do whatever we want. If one flavor's not working, we can immediately shelve it, put out another one.
Okay, interesting. Chris, we're going to have to leave it there because we're running out of time, but it's a really interesting story, and I am super intrigued with the beverage space, and I'm wondering who's going to be the industry leader. But thanks for joining me. We'll follow the Cliff story closely and have you back soon.
Yeah, good to be here. Thank you.
You bet.